Good morning, cadets. Today we are going to discuss on spotting errors. A number of questions on spotting errors we are going to take up. For the items 25, so here there are 25 questions on spotting errors. Each question in this section has a sentence with 3 underlined parts labeled A, B and C. Read each sentence to find out whether there is any error in any underlined part and indicate your answer in the answer sheet against the corresponding letter, that is A or B or C. If you find no error, your answer should be indicated as D. Now these questions are very important from UPSC point of view, because in UPSC, in every examination, the questions appear on spotting errors or improvement of the sentences. So you have to be very good at grammar when you are attending these questions. So go through Rain and Martin. Go through all those rules. That will definitely help you in the case of spotting errors. So you have to become familiar with grammar and the rules of grammar. So let's go to question number 49th here. So that's the first question here, 49th one, which has appeared in the examination here, competitive examination. So let's take up this. Everybody, it must be admitted, has their ups and downs. Now everybody, whenever it comes, or anybody, everyone, then what is that pronoun that should follow it? That is the question. First of all, you have to think about the verb. Everybody has. So everybody has. After everybody, what will come? Singular verb will come. Now the question is of pronoun. So if the subject is everybody, what will be the pronoun there? There. Is it correct to use the plural pronoun? Or what else should come in place of that? First, I think you have come to know that the answer is C. But now here the question is, why the answer is C? Let's become familiar with some of the rules of grammar. Now, whenever the subject is everybody, or everyone, or someone, or anybody, or anyone, you know that the verb will be singular, but the pronoun also has to be singular. You have to use either his or her, not their. So therefore, what is wrong there? There is wrong. It should be either his or her. Everybody, it must be admitted, has his ups and downs, or you can write has her ups and downs. So answer is C. And remember, whenever the subject is everybody, or somebody, or everyone, then what should be the pronoun? Pronoun also has to be in singular form. The verb has to be singular. The pronoun also has to be singular. Everybody. Okay, let's go to next one. When the thief broke into their house. The thief now broke into their house. So what he has done? He has carried out what? Theft. When the thief broke into their house. So break into, that's correct. So nothing wrong with that, because that is what is a phrase which is being used. You must have come across in the newspaper. So when the thief broke into their house, they raised a hue and cry, and the thief caught immediately by the people. No error. So where is the error here? The thief was caught immediately by the people. It has to be in passive voice. The clause, the thief caught immediately by the people, it has to be in passive voice. The thief was caught immediately by the people. You got it now? The thief caught. It's wrong. It has to be the thief was caught. So you have to be very careful. See, raised a hue and cry. That's correct. But the thief caught. No, the thief was caught. It has to be in passive voice. Let's go to next one now. I have tried to meet him several times. He isn't never at home. I think this is much more easier for you. Yes. What is given there? I have tried to meet several times. He isn't never at home. No error. Now here remember, isn't is negative. Never is negative. You can't have both negatives in same clause here. I have tried to meet him several times. It's correct. Absolutely correct. Then what is wrong there? He isn't never. So you know that double negatives, it can't be there. So he is never at home. He is, not isn't. It should be he is never at home. So the answer is C. Answer is C. Let's move on to the next one now. This house is mine, no error. This is my house, no problem. This house is mine, no problem. Then what is the answer? Answer is no error. So there is no error. So this is absolutely correct sentence. This house is mine. You can say this is my house. That is correct. But here nothing wrong. This house is mine. Mine is a pronoun, possessive pronoun, after which the noun will not come. You got it? So mine is correct. You can't say mine house. You have to say my house. Or this house is mine. Correct. So let's go to the next one now. He is proficient in Hindi and can speak English, but he does not know to read and write English. No error. But he does not know to read and write English. Something wrong with that? See, he is proficient in Hindi and can speak English. Absolutely no problem. It's correct. But he does not know how to read and write English. So what should come there? How to read and write English. So more and more you practice, better you become. All these questions, if you go on practicing, what will happen? You will become familiar with the rules. And that is the reason why we have taken up question papers. So more and more we see these questions, you will start remembering those rules. So remember here, but he does not know how to read and write English. Let's move on to the next one. Now similar what we have seen earlier, everybody. Now every woman in the world fervently hopes that their child will be a normal and healthy baby. No error. Every woman in the world fervently hopes that. Now here remember, again something wrong with the pronoun there. Their child. Every woman. Then see, in spoken language quite often we commit a mistake. But it will not be accepted grammatically. It's not grammatically correct. So what is correct there? The pronoun has to be, the pronoun that is following that, it has to be singular. The verb has to be singular. That's why hopes has come. And therefore the pronoun has to be singular. So what will be the pronoun? It's a very clear there. There his or her. But here which pronoun will come? Only her will come, because every woman in the world fervently hopes that her child, so B is the answer, her child will be a normal and healthy baby. So let's go to the next one now, 55th one. Neither of them send their papers in time for the last seminar. No error. Now neither of them, not even one of them, send their, or send, you can use plural, past tense form, no problem. But here what is wrong here? Neither of them send his paper. So it has to be neither of them sent, because for the last seminar. So neither of them sent his paper in time for the last seminar. So not even one of them. Not even one of them means it will be singular. So that is what you have to remember. Not even one of them. So how many are there? Two are there. But neither of them. Not even one of them sent what will come? Sent his paper in time for the last semester seminar. So the answer is B. Okay, I hope you understood that. Let's move on to the next one now. Now here, question number 56 here. There is not many traffic along the street where I live. No error. Now traffic, what is it? It's a noun, but it's an uncountable noun. Traffic. Traffic is uncountable noun. So there is not now many we can use only if it's a countable. And when we can use countable here, we have to use uncountable. So there is not much traffic along the street where I live. So there is not much traffic. So there is not much traffic along the street where I live. So here it's A because traffic is uncountable. Let's go to 57th one. The front page story was about a schoolgirl that had hurt herself while saving a child in an accident. No error. The front page story was about a schoolgirl that had hurt herself. About a schoolgirl. Now that, remember here, you have to use a relative conjunction there. So what will be the relative one? It has to be who. So relative pronoun will be there, who. So here the front page story was about a schoolgirl who had hurt herself. So who had hurt herself, not that. More appropriate will be who had hurt herself. Because remember here, in the case of this, we quite often use who. So that in place of that, this will be a better one because we are using who in the case of human beings, particularly nouns and all. We are using who. So who had hurt herself? The front page story was about a schoolgirl who had hurt herself. That quite often we use it in the case of non-living things, though sometimes we use in the case of human beings, but the most appropriate will be who had hurt herself, not that. He took leave of 4 days. No error. So what should be the, now here it is related to preposition. He took leave for 4 days. He took leave for 4 days. So B is the answer here. He took leave for 4 days. Let's go to the next one now. 59th one. The police arrived and discovered a large number of hoarded sugar in his shop. The police arrived and discovered. Is there anything wrong? Both arrived and discovered, they are all in simple past tense, no problem. So nothing wrong with them. The police arrived and discovered a large number of hoarded sugar. Sugar, it's uncountable. If sugar is uncountable, what will come there? A large number? No. What should come there? A large quantity of hoarded sugar. So in the case of uncountable, what is to be used? In the case of uncountable, you have to use what? Here, quantity, not number. A large quantity of hoarded sugar in a shop. So here B is the right answer here. A large quantity of hoarded sugar. Let's move on to the 60th one. Raju doesn't come to our house because our dog barks at him and licks him. Although I have often told him not to afraid of it. Just think over it. What should be the answer? Raju doesn't come to our house because our dog barks at him and licks him. Although I have often told him not to be afraid of it. Not to be. So here C is wrong. Okay. not to be afraid of it. Error is there in C. Let's go to the next one now. Running across the playground, my pen fell in the mud. Fortunately, I noticed it and picked it up. No error. Now you're running across the playground. My pen fell in the mud. Fortunately, I noticed it and picked it up. Fortunately, I noticed it and picked it up. Nothing wrong, because in the case of both, it is simple past tense. Now running across the playground, that is a one clause. The secondary clause is my pen fell in the mud. Remember, whenever ing form comes and first clause when it comes like this, the secondary clause becomes the subject of the primary clause. Then if it has to be the subject, then how it should be? Then you should start with I dropped. Pen has not fallen on its own. I dropped my pen. I dropped my pen. In place of my pen fell, it should be I dropped my pen in the mud. Remember here, I dropped my pen. Though it sounds correct, what is wrong there? Here it is wrong. So be careful whenever this kind of phrase comes, ing phrase like running across the playground. What is required there? Subject is required there. So here, in the case of secondary clause, subject is very, very important. So I dropped. So running across the playground, I. Running across the playground, I is required there. That subject is required there. And therefore, it has to be I dropped the pen in the mud. Fortunately, I noticed it and picked it up. Okay, you understood this now? Right. So let's move on to the 62nd one. The last thing that the fond mother gave her only son was his blessing. No error. I think it's quite simple one. Who is there in the subject? There is a mother. And how can it be his blessing? It has to be her blessing. Absolutely correct. So the last thing that the fond mother gave her only son was her blessing. So here C is the right answer. So was her blessing. So sometimes you have to be very, very careful here. So read these questions carefully, then you can find the answers correctly. So let's go to the next one, 63rd one. Now in the case of 63rd, what is to be used? To his innovative ideas and practices in farming, he was given the Krishi Pandit Award last year. No error. Now remember here, last year is given. So it has to be simple past tense. He was given the Krishi Pandit Award. It is in simple past tense because it's in passive voice. He was given. That is correct. So B is correct, C is correct. So something may be wrong with A. And what is wrong with A? That is what we have to find out. To his innovative ideas and practices in farming. So something wrong with the preposition here. So in place of to, what should come? In place of to, it has to be for. So here in the case of 63rd one, it will be for his innovative ideas and practices in farming, he was given the Krishi Pandit Award last year. So for, so A is the right one. Okay, let's just revise whatever we have seen. The last thing that the fond mother gave her only son was her blessing. His blessing, in place of that, her blessing. Running across the playground, my pen fell in the mud. No, I dropped the pen. Yes, I dropped the pen in the mud. Then Raju doesn't come to our house because our dog barks at him and licks him, although I have often told him not to be afraid of it. The police arrived and discovered a large quantity of hoarded sugar. Large sugar is there, uncountable, that's why quantity. Then 58th one. He took leave of 4 days. No, he took leave for 4 days. Preposition for 4 days. Okay. Then 57. The front page story was about a schoolgirl that, no, wrong. The schoolgirl who had heard. There is not much traffic along the street. Not much traffic. Again, uncountable. Neither of them sent his paper. Neither or sent his paper. Every woman in the world. So here hopes that her child, every woman, her child, is proficient in Hindi and can speak English, but he does not know how to read. How to read. So 52nd one is correct. I have tried. He is never at home. See something. He is never at home. And here the thief was caught, and every birthday has its ups and downs. Okay, I hope you have understood and you have become familiar with number of rules. Remember, these are the kind of questions they appear again and again. Thank you. Goodbye.